Hello, my beloveds, and welcome back to another episode of The Reclamation. I am Paula Collins, your Magdalene priestess and spirituality mentor. Today, we're diving into something ancient, something intuitive, and something profoundly simple, yet also complex at the same time. And that is the 5 elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. These elements are not just concepts. They are the blueprint of life itself. They shape our physical body, our emotions, our thoughts, and our whole energy field. And they also anchor in the 4 directions. So when we take a moment to understand them, we begin to understand ourselves even more deeply. This episode begins with an invitation to remember 3 things: that your life is an altar, your body is a ceremony, and you are woven from the 5 elements themselves. And when we get to this place of this invitation and this embodiment of what the 5 elements are all about and how we are so intricately woven with them, everything changes. So to begin, I would like to start with a short invocation to call in the wisdom from the 5 elements. So I invite you right now to take a deep breath. Allow your body to soften. And as you exhale, let yourself arrive fully into this moment. Place one hand over your heart and the other hand over your belly to the altar of your breath and your being. And together, let's call in the 5 elements. I call upon the element of air, the winds of the east, the bringer of clarity, inspiration, and the first breath of new beginnings. May the winds clear the old thoughts, lift away heaviness, and open the mind to truth. Air, enter this space. Fill our lungs, expand our awareness, and remind us that every inhale is a fresh start. I call upon the element of fire, the heat of the south, the fierce light of purpose, passion, and courage. May the flames burn away what no longer serves, ignite what we've forgotten, and illuminate the path ahead. Fire, rise within us, spark our creativity, strengthen our will, and help us walk our path with holy confidence. I call upon the element of water, the tides of the west, the keeper of intuition, tenderness, and truth. May these waters soften what has been hardened, cleanse what has been carried too long, and guide us back to the river of feeling. Water, move through us. Show us where to surrender, where to flow, and where to let ourselves be held. I call upon the element of earth, the wisdom of the north, the grounding, nourishing force of stability and belonging. May these roots steady my spirit, anchor my body, and remind me that I am held always. Earth, rise to meet me, fill my bones with strength, my feet with purpose, and my life with sacred presence. And now I call upon spirit, the center, the above and the below, the unseen thread that weaves everything into meaning. Divine presence, guide our words, bless our intentions, and expand our heart. Help us remember that we are part of everything, and everything is a part of us. May our time together be held in clarity, courage, compassion, grounding, and truth. May we honor the elements not as distant forces, but as living parts of who we are. And may we remember that our body is earth, Our breath is air. Our passion is fire. Our emotions are water. And our soul is spirit. And may this remembrance bring us home to ourselves. And so it is said, and so it is done. Blessed be. Oh, I don't know about you, but that felt so good to invoke the five elements, to call them into this space, this sacred remembering. We're going to start with earth. Earth is a representation of our body, of the north, the direction of the north, of our foundation. Earth is our bones, it's our skin, it's the structure of who we are. Earth is home, it is safety, it is nourishment, it is routine, it is groundedness. And it whispers to us, be here now, feel your weight, stand on your truth, be in the present. And when we think about that for just a moment, it expands our whole understanding of earth. Because many times when we think of earth, we think of what we see outside, what we see in nature, what we see when we're walking through the woods, or out in the backyard, or taking a walk. But when we think about it's our physical body, the structure of who we are, when we think about earth as our home, not just, excuse me, the domestic domicile that we reside inside of. It's this idea of home, of this place where we feel safe, where we feel grounded. And I think when we look at it from that point of view, we can see that it is so much more. And when earth is in balance within us, we feel so rooted and so stable. We don't have to look outside of ourselves for that stability. We don't have to ponder about where we came from, where we are now, and where we're going, because we are so rooted and so stable within this particular element that we have embodied it. And when we embody it, we trust ourselves more. We trust ourselves more. And we trust ourselves because we feel so safe and present in the moment. And this balance with this element of earth allows us to move through life with presence. Instead of moving through life constantly harrowing over what we could have done differently in the past, or worrying about what we're going to do tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day, we arrive in the present moment. And when we do that, we are connected. And we feel supported and we feel connected to our physical body. I think so many times we disconnect from our own body because we don't like how we look. We don't enjoy our limitations. Maybe we have physical limitations that we don't enjoy. And so we try to disconnect and be somewhere else. But when we are in balance with the element of earth, we can arrive here in our physical bodies. And we have this ability to be connected to ourselves and not outside of ourselves. Because think about it, And this is how we know when we're disconnected or out of balance with Earth. We feel so scattered and unsafe and ungrounded. We can't find our footing. We struggle with being consistent. We struggle with everyday routines. And our body begins to feel so depleted because we haven't taken care of this beautiful vessel that we incarnated inside of. So our body is depleted. We are overly fatigued. We may get sick more easily because, all of that changes everything. So what do we do when we get into this imbalanced stage? Like, how do we get back in balance, back in touch with, back in tune with the element of Earth? Well, the first thing we need to do is get barefoot. We need to go outside and get barefoot. And I know that that's not always easy if you have a lot of snow where you're at, because that can be really cold on the feet. Believe me, I've tried it. But getting out and putting our feet in the grass, on the dirt, on the ground. Because in our society today, and I was just shoe shopping, the soles on our shoes have become so much thicker. And they say it's for cushion, but it is disconnecting us. All of that rubber acts as a barrier to us connecting into Earth, being connected all the time. Shoes that have a leather sole or shoes that have copper in the soles allow us to connect with the Earth when we are walking, when we can't be barefoot. Because let's face it, we can't go into restaurants and stores. And we definitely don't want to be going into public restrooms barefoot. So walking barefoot is number one. Going outside if you can't be barefoot, and going up and placing your hands on a tree, or wrapping your arms around a tree, or taking a moment to bend over and smell the flowers and allowing that fragrance to come into us grounds us. When we eat whole foods, not this processed stuff that comes out of a box, but whole foods, vegetables and fruits, or warm foods that aren't really cold, but room temperature or warm, we become more grounded because it soothes us. See, these whole foods, these warm foods soothe us. They soothe our body and they help bring us back into balance. We can also do it by creating routines that support us. So routines and rituals that are a part of your life. How you start your day. Do you start your day with meditation, with gratitude, with journaling, with tuning into yourself? Do you use your time in the shower as a moment of remembrance of the beautiful vessel that you are able to cleanse in the water? Do you see it as a way to release what no longer serves you and open yourself up to what the universe has for you? See, these small rituals and routines support us. And then the last way is by tending to our actual home as a sacred space. Because so many times we neglect the domicile where we live. We let it become cluttered and unclean. We let it be a place that we don't feel good in anymore, or a place that brings us down and makes us sad. But when we tend to our home and we treat it as this beautiful sacred space. And maybe we need to create sacred spaces within it. You know, where I'm recording this, I have a lot of my dining room, much to my husband's dismay, set up with altars. And I have some of my sound equipment down here. And I gridded my house, above every window and door. I have a piece of selenite, and in the four corners of the house, I have black tourmaline. And I picture my house having roots and connecting with the Great Mother. I do things to remind myself that my home is a sacred space, because earth is the altar of the body. I'm going to take a drink for a minute. And then there's air. And air is our mind. It is the energy of the East. And it is this beautiful breath of clarity. It's our thoughts, our ideas. It's our imagination. It's clarity. It's truth. It's communication. It's new beginnings. See, air is so much more than what's going on around us. And when we think about the flow of our thoughts, our ideas, our imagination, when we think about how we communicate with other people, when we think about clarity, when we think about new beginnings, and we realize that air encompasses all of that, it changes so much within us. And it tells us, it reminds us, it helps us remember to breathe and to allow the wind to clear out the clutter. That's why when I breathe, I like to breathe in through my nose and exhale through my mouth, as if I'm blowing the clutter outside of my body, this vessel, this element of earth. And if you think about when the wind blows and you're looking outside, we see, especially in autumn, we see the leaves blowing all around. We see trees, branches swaying, flowers swaying. And it becomes this beautiful dance if we allow it to. And dancing moves with some kind of fluidity, with some kind of rhythm, with some kind of beat. It has a frequency all its own. And when the element of air is balanced within us, our mind feels so clear. We communicate with ease because we're not afraid to share our truth. We're not afraid to share our thoughts and our ideas. And it allows us also to see the possibilities. Instead of just looking at the roadblocks, it allows us to think outside of the box and say, okay, I can't go forward this way anymore. What else can I do? Because it's this idea of our imagination, our thoughts, our ideas flowing. And when that is balanced, possibilities are endless. And our inspiration flows so freely. Oh my goodness, we sit down. And so many people say, I need this as my muse, or this person as my muse. Why not allow air to be your muse? To help you, to enable your inspiration to flow freely. Because when we're out of balance with air, things like anxiety rise and can take over our lives, or we are constantly in a place of overthinking. We can't shut off our brain. We're just constantly thinking about the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, because our earth element is probably also out of balance and we're not in the present moment. See, when one of these elements is out of balance, more get there. And when the anxiety rises and this overthinking rises up, then our thoughts get scattered. Our thoughts become scattered. And we get that monkey brain, where we just move, or as some people say, squirrel, because we're off to the next thing. And when we're doing all of that, and that's all out of balance, trying to communicate our thoughts, our ideas, our truth becomes so complicated, becomes so difficult, because we're not in a place where we can see outside of what is going on or what we think is going on. So how do we bring all that back into balance? What do we do about it? Well, the first thing is breath work. We need to get into breath work, whether it's just sitting and tuning into our breath and becoming very conscious of our inhales or exhales, or creating a breath work practice where we maybe do box breathing, where we breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale to a count of 4, and hold to a count of 4. And we do that several times over and over and over again. Or we do alternate nostril breathing, or we do ocean breathing, where we're breathing in through our mouth and we are sighing out through our mouth. Or we do intermittent, where we breathe in for 4, hold for 6, exhale for 8. See, when we become very conscious of our breath, we're bringing it back into balance. Journaling is another way, because journaling is communication. Journaling is taking the thoughts, ideas, inspiration in our head and putting it down on paper, or taking the anxiety, the conflict out and putting it on paper and getting it out. Learning to speak our truth is also another way to bring air back into our life, into balance. And yes, the first time we may speak our truth, we may choke it back, we may swallow some of our words, we may become shaky, we may be really quiet, but it's okay, because it's a beginning. Maybe we have to go open up the windows and the doors and just let the air in from outside. Maybe the air inside the home has become so stagnant that we need the freshness of the air of the outdoors to come in. And when we do this, fresh ideas start to move through it, and air becomes the altar of our mind. Then there is the element of fire. The element of fire is our will. It is the energy of the south, and it's our inner flame that lives deep inside of us. It lives within our heart, within our soul, within our solar plexus, even within our sacral chakra. It's our passion, it's our creativity, it's our desires, our boundaries, and our courage. It's this feeling of transformation, transmutation, action, and it's sacred rage. It is the energy that propels us forward. It gets us out of our stuckness. And fire declares to us, I am so here to burn away what no longer serves you and ignite what has been forgotten. Because when it's in balance, we are motivated, we feel alive, we have all this energy inside of us that we could just keep going and going and going. We act on the things that matter. We respond instead of reacting. Did you hear what I said there? We respond instead of reacting, because the energy of fire being in balance allows us to burn away the destructive anger, and allows us to come to a place where we can communicate what's important. When fire is in balance, we honor our sacred yes and our sacred no, because we know where the boundary line is. We know when we're depleted, it's not time for us to keep doing and doing for other people. It's time for us to refill our cup in some way. And so we say no, and we do it without feeling guilty. But when it's aligned, when it feels good, we can honor it and say yes. And we feel powerful and connected to our purpose. And it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. But when it's out of balance, we're exhausted. We're burnt out. We don't have any more energy. We just want to sit and do nothing. Our anger explodes, or we feel like we're going to implode. And we feel like we don't have any direction in our life, because we have given so much that we have gotten to a place where we can no longer see the path forward. So how do we get back into balance with fire? How do we bring more of it into our life? Well, the first thing we have to do is we have to get up and move our body. If you are feeling stagnant, like you can't get moving, do some gentle yoga. I'm not saying go to the gym and lift weights or run a mile. You can do it by doing yoga. You can just get up and shrug your shoulders up and down, stomp your feet, clench and unclench your fists. Move your body in some way to ignite that inner fire. Allow yourself to take bold action in some area of your life, whatever that might be. Because when we take bold action in our lives, we then are able to speak our truth. We are able to stand up for the things that matter most. Maybe we just make the decision, I'm going to create something. I'm not going to worry about what it looks like. I'm just going to create it. Whether we sit down with some markers and crayons, a pencil and pen, and we start doodling and coloring, it doesn't have to have form or shape, but we create something. We allow ourselves to feel anger in healthy ways. And I talked about this in my podcast on Sacred Rage. We channel it in healthy ways. Or maybe we do something just simple. We light a candle and we look at the candle and we allow the energy from the lit candle to come into us. Or we sit before a fireplace or before a bonfire and we allow the energy of fire to come into us, because fire is the altar of the will. And then there is the energy of water. And I love water. Many of us find our strength, our grounding at the ocean, because we get all of the elements at once. But water is more than that. See, water is our emotions. It's the energy from the West. It's this river of feeling. Water is our intuition. It's our emotions. It's our tenderness. It's our grief. It's our creativity. It's our sensuality. Water is the womb of our creation, because all of these things have a flow to them, because water flows. And we know, if we've ever gone creek walking, when water becomes stagnant, it fills up with bacteria and ickiness. But when water is flowing, it is fresh, it is cold, it is refreshing. And water whispers to us, feel. Let everything move through you. Because when we allow ourselves to feel our emotions, to feel our tenderness, our grief, our sensuality, and we allow a natural, beautiful flow through us, it helps us to move through life differently. But when we get stuck in any of the emotions, whether we're stuck in joy or stuck in grief, It doesn't matter when you're stuck in one place. You don't have continuous flow. And I know that that sounds weird to be stuck in joy, but sometimes being stuck in joy is covering up everything else that we don't want to feel into. And when it's balanced, we can feel without feeling like we're going to drown. You know how you get caught in emotions and you drop into depression and you feel like you're drowning? That's because the element of water is out of balance with you. You're stuck somewhere. It's becoming stagnant. It's filling up around you, but it's not allowing you to move with ease. When water is balanced, we have access to our intuition with ease. We don't block it out. We trust it. We express our emotions in healthy ways. And we don't apologize for that. But we also allow ourselves to be in a place of softness without seeing it as a weakness. Because when we're out of balance, we can become emotionally overwhelmed. We can become numb. Oh my goodness, for so many years of my life, I was numb because I would not let myself show my tears, my fears. I went to a place of numbness. We avoid emotions. We avoid situations that might cause us to become overwhelmed because it's out of balance. Or we become codependent on something. When water's out of balance, we can become codependent on a person, on a substance, on some type of pleasure, because we don't want to feel. And we have this big problem trusting our intuition, because intuition is flow. So you might be thinking to yourself at this point, tell me how to bring it back into balance. Well, the first thing you need to do is, and it's so simple, but it's not, drink more water, but drink it with intention. Don't just get a glass of water and chug it. Drink it with intention. Drink it with the intention that you want to bring this element in your body back into balance, that you want your emotions, your tenderness, your grief, your creativity, your sensuality, your intuition. You want all of that to be in flow and in balance. You get into the bath and you take a bath. You take a ritual bath. Don't just get in there and scroll aimlessly on your phone or read a book so you don't have to think. Put on some beautiful music and allow yourself to heal. Allow that bath to cocoon you. Light candles. Add rose petals or chamomile to your bath. Epsom salts or magnesium flakes, right? Take a bath or a shower. Maybe you just need the water to run over your body and feel like it's cleansing you and getting you back into flow. Allow yourself to cry. The urge to cry is our body asking us to release emotion. And it is a beautiful thing. So allow yourself to cry. Maybe, and as I said before, when we were talking about fire, we were talking about fire, create some art, right? Allow your creativity to come out. Or practice compassion first with yourself. Practice loving compassion with yourself. Because water is the altar of our emotion. And when we do things consciously to bring it into our life so we can be in balance, everything flows. And finally, we have spirit. Spirit is our center. It's what's above and what's below. It's our life force. It is our connection to the divine. It's our connection to our higher self. It's our connection to the unseen realms. It is also our intuition, our truth, our presence, but it is also our purpose. and our alignment with all of it. People who have wounding from religion many times have problems connecting to spirit and to spirituality because it's been clouded or clogged or disconnected through organized religion. But Spirit says to us, remember, you are more than you think. You are the bridge, and we are the bridge. We are the bridge between everything that is within us, the higher realms, and how we communicate with other people. We are a bridge, and Spirit wants us to remember that. And when we are aligned, when we are in balance with Spirit, we feel so aligned with the divine, with our angels, with our guides, with our higher self. And that alignment becomes a synchronicity, and that synchronicity becomes a language. When we speak, when we are in conversation, when somebody asks us to listen and then asks us for our thoughts, when we are aligned with Spirit, we are synchronized with the answer that the divine wants that person to know. And then our decisions feel so guided, and we feel anchored in our soul. We can sit in the quiet. And if you have been craving more quiet time, it's because your soul is calling you in to anchor more. But when we're out of balance, we are disconnected. We are so deeply disconnected from all of this. And we may go through spiritual burnout. And spiritual burnout is a real thing, because we just don't want to be in that space. We don't want to communicate with anything outside of ourselves. We doom scroll or we binge watch because we're burnt out, because it's too hard to sit and meditate. It's too hard to get into gratitude. It's too hard to journal. It's too hard to listen to healing hurts like 432 or 528. It's too hard to listen to that. We doubt ourselves so much when we are in balance. We doubt ourselves because the channel to the divine, which is feeding us, has been blurred or muddied or cut off. And we just feel lost and empty. We feel lost and empty, and we go grasping for anything outside of ourselves to fill that space so we don't feel so empty. And we feel lost, we feel directionless. And we try to find it in another thing, in a different practice, in a different ritual, in a book, in another person, because we can't figure out how to get back into it. So how do we get there? Meditation and stillness is the best way to bring Spirit back into your life. Or go on a walk in nature without your earbuds, without those earbuds, and just be in the presence of what's around you. A walking stillness meditation in nature will bring you back. Be in prayer. And people become afraid of the word prayer because it is so closely related to maybe organized religion that caused trauma. Prayer is your conversation with the divine, whoever it is. Whether it's your angels talking to your higher self, talking to your future self, talking to your spirit guides, it's prayer. Talking to something that's bigger than you, it's a prayer. Talking to a tree, talking to a flower, finding your spirituality in that is a prayer. And as I said before, connecting with our guides, connecting with your ancestors. You know, at Sao and I put out pictures of my ancestors, my parents, my grandparents, my birth mom. And I'm keeping them there because every time I walk past that altar, it reminds me of my ancestors. It reminds me of where I came from. Engage in some kind of ritual. Whether it's lighting a candle and staring into it, whether it's cleansing yourself with sage, whether it's picking up a crystal and holding it, whether it's drinking that glass of water with intention. Create a ritual, whether that ritual is 30 seconds or 30 minutes. Create a ritual. Rituals help us connect to spirit and live intentionally rather than automatically. So instead of just getting up and making your lunch and washing the dishes and doing the laundry and vacuuming the house and running the errands, instead of just doing that automatically, do it intentionally. Do it with gratitude. When you're doing, I get it. You know, routine things around the house, dusting, vacuuming, doing the floor, doing the dishes, doing the laundry, folding the laundry, doing the groceries. When we do it with intention, with gratitude, it connects us to spirit. Because spirit is the altar of our soul. Remember, each direction is a teacher. And it's part of our human experience. So let's quickly review. The east is air, which is new beginnings and clarity. The south is fire. It's passion, action, and transformation. The west is water. It's emotion, intuition, and release. The north is earth. It's wisdom, rest, and grounding. Our center is spirit. It's wholeness. It's integration. And these 5 elements create this beautiful wheel, this cycle, this rhythm of our life. And when one element is neglected, you feel it. And when all are honored, our life becomes fluid. You know, there's a beautiful chant or song, and so many people have sung it. It's an ancient folk song. And I want you to just close your eyes for a minute and think about the words as I sing them a few times. And if you know it, join in with me. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. So as we end this, just remember what we talked about, that your breath is the air, your blood is the water, your body is the earth, your passion is your fire, and your consciousness is spirit. Even though that song that I just sang left out the 5th, maybe I'll rewrite it. And that you are a walking altar. You are a living ceremony. You are the sacred expression of the elements remembering themselves. And the more you honor the elements inside of you, the more you feel connected, intuitive, grounded, and whole. Thank you for joining me here today. If you enjoyed this podcast, I invite you to like it, to subscribe so you don't miss any, to share it with somebody who needs this message, to leave a review. I've never asked for that before, but to leave a review, to share your comments with me, whether you're commenting here or you find me on Instagram at Serene Wellness with Paula or on TikTok at Serene Paula. Wherever it is, let's connect. Tell me your thoughts on this. It's so important. So until next time, remember all of this. Remember your body, your life is an altar. Have a beautiful day, my beloveds, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.